Right, Blues fans, here we are after our 2-1 defeat at the Riverside against Middlesbrough. So historically don't do that well there today. We thought that might change considering the Rob Edwards situation, but unfortunately it did the opposite and it galvanised them right from the off, wasn't it? I mean, you know, it was the crowd were right behind them. Obviously disappointing to lose the game, but you know, we won the last two before that, and it's not the end of the world. Been sitting where we are now, 11th. After this many games, I would absolutely take it, I will say. But the game itself, we conceded two really poor goals, in my opinion. First one, another set piece where we thought we'd clean that up now, and we'd started to defend those better and be better in attack with those, but we didn't deal with that. Did really well to get back into it, because as soon as they scored their first goal, we were coming forward. There's a lot of space with Patrick Roberts on that right-hand side. And they looked really vulnerable there. I mean, they were giving the ball away left, right and centre. And I think we got the deserved goal to level it with 1-1 with Damari Gray. Looked like he was injured in the goal, but he was all right. I think he just hurt his wrist. And then from then on, you know, we looked like we were going to push on and start to make more of it. It was a little bit back and forth in terms of the possession. Obviously, the stats, I think it was 59, wasn't it, total for us at the end of the game?
57, I think, to 43.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that possession came in the second half. But anyway, they score at the killer moment, didn't they? Right before the break, 45 plus 6 minutes. And another poor goal to concede. Marvin Dukes gives the ball away pretty high up when there's a pass left and right of him. I think Phil Neumann should deal with the long ball a little bit better. But from then on, yes, there's a little bit of luck involved. They've had a strike from range and Hayden Hackney's put his foot out and it's diverted it in. But there is intent there for him to put it in the back of the net and it's gone in. So a bit unfortunate. And then second half, you know, I think that's where a lot of our position came, didn't it? You know, and it was, one thing I will say, it was good to see us throw so much at it. Okay, you could say it was a lot of huff and puff, and we haven't obviously found the formula just yet away from home. And I think our form away will actually puts us in the relegation battle. So it shows you how strong we are at home and how opposite it is. And nothing's too drastic about that. A lot of teams are like that. But yeah, you know, we had a lot of it and there were chances for us. I think actually just you were saying on the way, weren't you, Dad, that, you know, the first half chance at the end was Stano.
Yeah. Should
have put that away. He was inside the box. The angle was on and it's a really tame effort. Yeah. But there were chances in the second half. Tomoki Iwata with the header. I think Kyogo was right in front of him, so it could have been one of the two of them. And there wasn't anything massively clear-cut other than that, but again, it was a lot of huff and puff and we just didn't quite do enough. But also fair play to Borough. They defended well. You know, they were very good out of possession. And unfortunately, the manager thing, which we thought was going to go in our favour, absolutely did it.
Swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot like football. It galvanised them. Obviously, Rob Edwards is now going to be departing for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting to see Middlesbrough's statement actually on BBC Sport. Actually, to be fair, they were really salty about it. And I suppose you can't really blame them, to be fair. The level of investment they've probably put into the team behind Rod Edwards, particularly the promotion-chasing team, it is disappointing for them. But unfortunately, it galvanised them, and like you say, Joe, we gave away two poor goals. But then when you're a team like Middlesbrough, you're chasing automatic promotion, and other than the playoffs, as it were.
Yeah.
But those goals gold for you, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, the deflection, as you say, intent from Hackney, which it is, to be fair, to divert it into net, and it goes in on another day of the week, that doesn't go in, or it goes over, or it goes into the goalkeeper's hands.
Yeah.
Like you say, though, we did come back into the game after the first goal. Patrick Roberts, like you say, had a lot of space out on the right-hand side, as it were. You'd be surprised, actually, because a lot of teams doubled up on Roberts and Gray, haven't they, really? So it was a bit surprised to see him given that amount of space, and they struggled out there with possession.
Yeah.
But it was just disappointing, the second goal, because if you just felt if you'd have got through to half-time 1-1, we could have regrouped and probably gone on maybe to push on a little bit more. It would have done. It takes the wind out your sails, doesn't it? And obviously we lost Paik early on in the game, didn't we, as well?
Yeah, big injury, that.
So, I mean, all being well, he won't be going out on international duty now, so we'll have time to rest before we return post the third international break of the season.
Nasty. I mean, it looked like dislocated or a broken shoulder, because he was rough, man. I mean, they got a stretcher out and oxygen. I'm glad he just walked off on his own, but it looked rough, that. And just as we get our 11 fucking settled, something like that happens to us. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's football, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's a shame, really, you know, because there were promising parts of that game where you could look and see some of the patterns of play that had emerged during the two home games, the Portsmouth and Millwall games.
Yeah.
And that was definitely the case after their first goal and up to and including when we scored. You know, that started to look as though, we're getting into this, we're starting to find our rhythm again. Dale Fry had gone off for them, obviously, which, you know, would have unsettled them, and it did unsettle them in between those two goals, their first and our goal. after that, I felt as though, because they've played with 3 at the back or 5 at the back quite often this season, that it wasn't foreign to them. They found it kind of easy to adapt to that kind of that pattern, and saw it through to half time. Got the goal, which, okay, maybe there's some fortuity about it, but if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery, do you? That's what Hayden Hackney did, and we said in our pre-match review that he was going to be a danger player, and so it proves to be. But in the second half, I would say that their 3 at the back probably became more of a 5 at the back eventually.
They were indeed.
And they were controlling the game without the ball. Yeah. And how many times have we said that this season, that teams have done that to us?
Quite a few teams.
Yeah, and I think I looked at half time, and the possession stats then were almost equal. They were 50-50. So if you think about it logically, if at the end of the game it was 57-43, it means we must have had a hell of a lot of possession in the second half to make that stat go up to 57. You think about how averages work, we must have been getting over 60% possession to make that happen.
Yeah, we did. I mean, they were in deep in their own half. Everybody was basically behind the ball, particularly in that last half an hour, because we had made a couple of subs. Obviously, Kyogo came on at the same time with Keshy Anderson. They were 2 really good subs as well. I think both of them did quite well. Kyogo was dropping in deep to try and connect the play a little bit. Keshy Anderson tried to make things work for us on that left-hand side. Alex Cochrane put some really good crosses as well in that second half, which, again, we probably should be getting on the end of them a bit more. I think Patrick Roberts did have a headed chance as well, but it kind of deflected off one of them and just kind of hit his head rather than him putting his neck muscle into it, which obviously was an easy save. But, other than that, I think we, again, like I said before, it was a lot of huff and puff. And end of the day, it drops for us and we go and take a point. But, big credit to Borough, because, there's a reason they are where they are. And obviously the manager, I think, galvanised them. But they've got quality in there. They played some really nice stuff. They've definitely been much better than what we saw against Portsmouth and Millwall. There's no question about it. And like you say, Dad, it's about controlling the game without the ball. And they just did enough. And another thing I want to mention is, did anybody else think that was a sending off from James Beadle? Because, we know what Luke Ayling's like. He's going to buy it, isn't he? But Beadle, basically, it looks like he does that, or he punches him, I don't know what, but he's obviously hit him, and Ayling's gone falling over. And as soon as it's happened, I've literally gone, oh my God, no, he's going to go. But the ref's just gone and booked him. For me, it looked like a sending off, but let us know what you guys think, whether that was a red card or not. It was right towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was, at the end of the day, I don't think we're too, down about it, because, we're playing a very good side. We've played a lot of good sides in recent weeks, Preston, Millwall, and obviously today Middlesbrough. We beat both of them, and we've gone and lost today. But I think there's work to do for away games, isn't there? Because we look like a different beast at home. We really do.
We do.
It's not massively unusual for teams to be that way, but you have to, if you're going to challenge, you got to find ways to get points away. And
there's a significant difference between the two, isn't there? It's how much of a difference. Like you say, you do expect teams to be different slightly from how they are at home for when they play away. That's just the nature of the beast. That's up and down the divisions. But there's just such a gulfing difference in class and quality when we're playing at home, and kind of the mentality we're playing with, the level of aggression we're playing with, how we apply ourselves, how we move the ball forward, how positive we are. Okay, best part of 26,000 Blues fans behind you is going to make a bit of a difference, isn't it? As opposed to a couple of thousand, I think there were at Borough today.
Yeah.
So that does come with the territory, unfortunately. But I don't think we're too far off.
No.
Considering the opposition we played against today, and like you say, Joe, Borough, credit to them. The game plan worked today. Considering that they were galvanised by they're going to be losing their manager to Wolverhampton Wanderers in Rob Edwards, and they executed a game plan, and they sat deep late on with 5, and we're not going to be the first team that they've done this to. There's a reason, like you say, Joe. Well, this is the thing. They're unbeaten at home this season, and there's a reason for that, and we saw it today. On another day, dare I say, we might have got a point, and we said we would have settled for a point, wouldn't we, prior to this, as it were. I know, I think it was me and you, Dad, that predicted a win today for us, didn't we? I think it was only Joe that went with the draw.
You and Joe did, yeah.
Oh, did you go for draw?
I said draw.
Right, okay. Yeah. So, I guess we're all wrong, but like you say, I don't think we can be too disappointed with the nature of the loss today.
No.
I think as well, it's worth remembering, just to go on to, looking at away performances, that the last 3 away results have gleaned us 4 points from 9.
Yeah.
A draw at Wrexham, a win at Preston, and then today's defeat. you know, we're getting het up about it, but that's better away form than we've
done
had
better.
earlier on in the season.
Absolutely.
You know, I think when we were losing
Absolutely.
to Stoke and to Leicester in all those kind of games, you know, people got downhearted, and Coventry as well, obviously.
Yeah.
People getting downhearted. But let's not forget where two of those teams are. They played each other today with a 1-goal difference, you know, in Cob's favour. But nonetheless, that's how close those teams are. They're difficult games for us.
Yeah.
And out of the last, 5 games that we've played, so 15 points, we took 9 overall.
It's fine.
And we've played Bristol City, we've played Preston, we've played Millwall, and we've played Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So 4 tough teams out of the 5 that we've played, and we've still took 9 points.
Yeah, it's very encouraging because we looked at that before even the game today, didn't we? And we thought, even if we do lose today, you know, and there wasn't a lot in it really, you know, we're still in a very good position.
It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it, when you look at it from that perspective?
Yeah.
Where all of those teams you've just listed off there, Dad, we've only lost 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, we've got to, you know, take these things as a promoted team, despite the amount of money and the expectation, you know, and look at and say, you know, most promoted teams would look at where we are at the moment and say, that's good. That's better than average, right? It's better than average given where we've come from and what we've been used to playing against. And we're trying to find new patterns with new players. I mean, there was some today I thought who were just a little bit off from what they've been in the home games. Marvin Dutch, quiet game today.
Yeah, his touch was off. He didn't really drop the same way. He didn't hold the ball up, did he, as well? So he was definitely one winner.
Yeah, I think he was one. I think Phil Neumann looked a little bit, don't know, uncomfortable at times, maybe.
Shaky,
it wasn't quite kind of as assertive as he had been in the last couple of games.
No.
Stano maybe, you know, obviously maximum effort as always, but, you know, from a shooting point of view, you know, another day he would have buried some, you know, that particular chance at the end of the first half. So, but you can forgive people for that because they're not machines. We've played 3 games in a week, and I know other teams have done the same. But it ebbs and flows, doesn't it? You know, especially if you're away from home. So I'm not getting too het up about it. You know, we lost a game of football by 1 goal against a very good team.
Yeah, so we got obviously a few weeks now. So we play Norwich at home, don't we, down on the 22nd of November.
Couple of weeks now.
Back at St Andrews. So obviously, hopefully, absolutely all the best to Paik. Hopefully a speedy recovery there. We don't know the exact nature of the injury, but it looked pretty nasty. Yeah. And as I say, you know, just as we're getting our 11 together, something happens. But that's football, and hopefully, you know, he can recover as quickly as possible. Obviously, he's got a 2-week break now. There's a couple of others out as well. Obviously, we're hoping Willem Willemsen's going to be back soon enough.
Yep.
Lee Buchanan, I think he's going to have to wait till January. I think I saw on Blues Rising that he's aiming for a January sort of return time.
Yep, looking forward to seeing him back.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a bit of news on Ethan Laird as well. So there's a few in there that, you know, hopefully are going to have a bit of good rehab over the next few weeks. But yeah, we just journey on. We go again, you know, as I say, playing Norwich, who obviously lost today at home to Leicester.
They're not having a very good season, are they, to be fair?
I think we've got to hope that they don't get some new manager in.
I think they probably will.
Well, that's the thing. It'll be our luck by the time we play them at home and they get somebody else in and it fucking goes against us. But nonetheless, as you say, Dad, you know, it was 1 goal in it today. It's a narrow loss. We did throw the kitchen sink a bit, but that's football, and today it just didn't come off for us.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, on to the next, obviously, guys, as always. Let us know in the comments what you thought about today's game. Could we have snatched the point? Is there something more we could be doing away from home? And obviously, you know, let us know as well, guys. We've got an episode we're recording on Monday, so throw us some of your questions our way. Any questions for the most part. We've had a few already on our pre-match for this game today. So just let us know if there's any questions you guys want answering from ourselves. But until then, we will catch you guys next week in a new episode. So keep right on, Blues fans, and we will see you all very soon.
Keep right on.
Keep right on.